Okay, I want to talk about 22 handguns for an economic collapse type scenario. I recommend everybody have a 22. If you're going to have guns, well, you got to be able to use them. You need to be able to afford to shoot them, right? It's like riding a bike. You may not forget, but you're going to be rusty. You get on that bike, you're going to wobble around, maybe fall off a couple times, depending on how long it's been. Well, same thing with shooting. 22s, you can actually afford to use them. You can afford to keep your skill up. That's why I'd recommend them. I have there's an AR, there's a couple of 45s. Those are very expensive to shoot. 223, 45 ACP. I've got a plan on taking that loan from the bank, buy ammunition. If I'm going to be there all day, as opposed to this, probably if I wanted to be there for hours, $60, 1,500 rounds over that, for under $60. That's a lot of target shooting. Another thing, I've got these guns. Just because I've got those over there doesn't mean I'm just going to, if there was a big old crisis, total mayhem, just leave those there, don't worry about them. No. I've already got these. I pick my firearms pretty carefully. I modify them the way I like them. And, I'm not going to say, well, hell with it. It's just a 22. No. First off, the 22 kills more people every year than any other caliber. Those of you who are going to say, well, that's only because there's more of them out there. I'm not going to dispute you. I don't know the numbers. I'll take your word for it. But you can't dispute me and say it's not lethal. If it kills more people every year, it's obviously lethal, correct? Meaning this probably wouldn't be a great primary weapon, but it could make a hell of a good defense or support weapon. Accurate, no recoil. And plus that, you'd be very familiar. You could actually afford to shoot and get your skill up with it. I'll take little sister out shooting here pretty soon. And, she'll be very familiar with this. That one, not so much. Why? Well, the ammunition's pretty costly. For those of you that have a gold mine in your backyard, hey, good for you. I'm happy for you, really. But I don't. It actually digs into my pocket pretty deep. This, on the other hand, keep my skill up. It's not quite the same, but hey, it's good enough. Now, if things got that rough, you want to use everything you have to its maximum potential, right? I always recommend, and I'll recommend them again, the CCI segmented hollow points. These do maximum tissue damage. They were meant to take down varmint like Coyote. It's not meant for like little squirrel or anything. That's meant for a good-sized animal. And the Agulia Super Maximum Hypervelocity. I've seen them outperform stingers. I'll leave that link below so you guys can check out the ballistics. They had 5 hot loads that they compared. So just alternate your rounds. And that make a heck of a good support weapon. It can be very accurate. That's excellent shot placement with the 22. I'm pretty mean with that AR. Pretty good with M45s, but it's been a while. I'm probably rusty. But, I know half the guys on YouTube are ex-military and can make half-inch groups 5 miles out. But for the other half, you need to practice to keep your skill up. 22 makes that possible. And then, if things were to get bad, they'd make excellent support weapons. I can't afford to get an AR for every member of my family, right? Well, I'll make use of this. That's a very reliable handgun. That's the Ruger SR22. It shoots, it just goes through any crap bulk ammunition like candy. It's a very reliable little gun. Fits really comfortable in your hand, like the Walther. If you've got smaller hands, it's got smaller grips and smaller magazine butt plates. I put the larger one on there. And, you know, gives me a pretty good feel. Feels good in your hand. And I can spend time using this thing on a regular basis. The Ruger 1022, I've got it all decked out. Functions a little bit different from my AR-15, but you know what? I can still keep my skill up. Admittedly, I've been practicing more with this guy, but still, like anything else, practice makes perfect. You've got to be able to shoot. Your life might depend on it. Keep your skill up. Get good ammunition, reliable firearms, and there you go. Don't just forget about 22s if something happens. No, use everything to its maximum potential. You may need everything you've got. And 22 is a very, very easy to come by round. You can find that in pretty much anywhere.